Reaper and Mago on the channel to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading with the prices going up or down. Over on Dixie for the daily, we are continuing forward. This is positive. We could see more correlation between the markets soon, as we will have an administration change, and there could be some positive things for stocks, which could push them and crypto up together. We did see a point where they were kind of moving together in the previous bull market. So we may see that come soon. VWAP is pushing up, momentum is gaining strength, money flow is starting to weaken, so I would watch that VWAP. If it pulls back, we could still see that money flow lose strength, but as long as it stays above neutral, we could continue forward here and see strong green candles continue to push us up against the MPP. Over on Bitcoin dominance, we are seeing a bit of a bounce away from our value area highs, so we are seeing a continuation forward. We do want continued strong green candles if we're going to pump up, but ideally we would reject and see a lower low because we do want dominance to weaken. That way altcoins can gain against Bitcoin and we can see an alt season. So Stochastic does want round, VWAP is starting to pull back, momentum does want round. So if VWAP breaks down, momentum could still reject and weaken money flow. I would watch how the next couple days trades out. Over on total for the daily, we are trying to get a bounce off our support level, so this could be positive. We did say there was a chance of seeing a bounce, so we need to continue this bounce and break through and hold that Fibonacci level if we're going to see the MVP range where we could potentially get a higher high. Our stochastic is trying to push up, VWAP does want to gain strength, money flow is pulling back, and the momentum is dropping down, but if that VWAP can break the neutral, we could see that momentum make a bounce and that money flow would stay in the green. Over on the 1 hour here, our VWAP is attempting to break bearish. We do have a potential for a double top, so I would exercise caution. If we break this Fibonacci, we could retest at 936, at which point we could continue lower. The MPP does say there is a high chance of that happening, so I would keep a close eye out for that. But it did say there was also a chance we make higher highs. We did try to make a higher high. We made a consistent high, so we need higher lows with higher highs to create a bullish trend or see some sort of bullish pattern form. Our momentum does want to round with the red dot. VWAP is starting to break down and money flows in the red. If that VWAP breaks through the neutral and holds, and then we see a strong bearish wave like here, we will see momentum continue lower. Money flow will remain red, and we will break that support level and continue lower. So I would watch that VWAP very close. We need a higher low and a continuation forward. Otherwise, if we give up our strength here, we may just see further losses. And then remember, we could push to the next support of the 749 if we don't get bullish momentum around that MPP, right around that 900 billion. Over on Bitcoin futures for the daily, we do want to push forward here as well. Our MPP is saying we could continue up, so that could be positive, but the highest probability is a lower high, so I would exercise caution. Remember, you want to break and hold that 100K. That has been a hard range to overcome. Stochastic is pushing down, RSI is losing strength, VWAP is pushing down, momentum is starting to push down, and money flow is weakening. So overall, despite this push up, we do still have some signs of weakness, so watch lower time frames. Over on this 1 hour, we do have higher highs and higher lows, so we are trying to make a bullish continuation. Remember, as long as these highs and lows don't connect, we could continue forward. If they do end up connecting, watch out for a rising channel that would bring you down. But if they do connect forward, we do have a 65% chance to break and hold that 100K, so watch that very close. But if we continue to head down, there is a high chance we make a higher low. And then if we don't make that higher low and bounce forward from there, then we do have the chance of pushing to the 90K range again. So we need to hold that 93K again. Otherwise, if we come back down and break it, it's likely we're going to continue lower, rejecting a bullish trend, and then seeing a further breakdown, possibly toward that gap zone. Remember, we have that 70-80K range that we could still fill. So over on Bitcoin for the daily, that's why we still have that buy-in range here on our paper trading. So over on Bitcoin for the daily, we do have the same thing going on where we do want to break and hold that support. Again, we need to hold it. Stochastic is pulling back. RSI is starting to weaken. That VWAP is in the bearish territory, but starting to push forward, so that does look positive. If that VWAP can continue forward, money flow could remain in the green, and then we could continue a bounce forward. Right now, we need to see continued bullish candles. Ideally, getting a bullish engulfing candle would help push us forward. So again, that is why we did set that buy order last night, because we said there was a high chance of seeing this bounce. We do have the higher highs and higher lows here, so we are looking for a bullish continuation to form and continue to push us forward ahead of that 93K. If we break that 93K, then I would exercise caution. Our VWAP does have a higher high or consistent high, but it's a very short one. So watch for a consistent low. If we see a consistent low here, momentum will break down, money flow will lose strength, and we likely would break that support and continue lower. There's a 42% chance that we do push right around that 89K. But the MPP does also say there's a 48% chance of pushing up to that 98K. Futures has a little bit higher of a chance. So again, watch for those higher highs and higher lows to continue to push us up, and watch for that VWAP to push into bullish territory and hold, then gain a stronger wave, more like back here or back here. So over on graph for the daily, we do have a bounce off our support. This is an indecision candle though, so I would still exercise caution. This could be like a larger descending triangle. Exercise caution on that, as that would bring you lower. Stochastic is pushing down, RSI is losing strength, VWAP is bearish, momentum is pushing down, and money flow is starting to lose strength. If that VWAP continues to favor bearish here, we will continue lower. Over on our 1 hour, we are trying to make a bounce off support, but we have lower highs and lower lows. We do pretty much have consolidation going on after a push down. Remember, that could create a bear flag, and this range is pretty big, so we will measure this. That could be a pretty significant breakdown if we do see it, so it may be a decent buying opportunity. That would be a break beyond our 16.316 and down toward that 15-cent range. So I would watch that very close. That may be positive for our DCA opportunity here. Stochastic does want to pull back. VWAP is trying to push down. Momentum does want to round. Money flow is in the red. So overall, I would exercise caution. Watch that VWAP close. If it doesn't make a higher low and continue for higher highs here, then we will continue lower. However, if that VWAP stays in a bullish trend, we could invalidate this flag and bounce forward with the rest of the market. Over on Anchor for the daily, we do have a further potential to drop. We did fill most of that potential already, so that move is pretty much played out. You may not get that buying opportunity again, but we are trying to continue forward. We're trying to break that 3767. We did say to watch for that to break, and then if we can overcome that and the forward 4049, we could push up to that 50. Then if we can break and hold that 50, that's where we can push to higher values like we had in previous bull markets, and that's likely where we would see that altcoin run. VWAP is pushing up, momentum is gaining strength, money flow is pushing up, Stochastic wants to bounce, RSI is pushing forward, so the daily does look pretty positive. Over on the 1 hour, we have higher highs, we have consistent lows, or consistent highs with higher lows, so we are trying to make some sort of a rising triangle. That rising triangle can continue us forward. That's why the MPP says we could break toward that 4049. I would watch for a rejection though. If we get a rejection in that area and pull back, we could see further losses, but that would be a short-term pump potential. We do still have a chance of breaking down toward that 3-cent range. There is about a 25% chance, so keep that in mind, as that momentum is starting to round with the red dot and VWAP is starting to break down after getting a shorter bullish wave. If we continue seeing strong bearish favor here, momentum will continue lower, money flow will break down, and we won't see those higher probabilities. Over on XRP for the daily, we are trying to push forward. We are still within our descending triangle, so I would still exercise caution. Stochastic is pushing down. RSI is trying to make a push forward, but if that Stochastic doesn't make a bullish cross and hold, RSI will start to push down and lead price lower. VWAP is in the bearish territory. We are coming up toward that neutral, so watch if we reject. If we do, then momentum will break down and money flow will continue to lose strength. That'll give us that scenario where we see those lower targets play out and possibly get right around that $70, $80 range. Over on the 1 hour, we are trying to make a push forward. Our MPP did say we could try to break out of our pattern, but we were unable to do so. So now it does project that we could continue lower. There's a 20% chance we still revisit the bottom of our triangle. Remember, if we touch the bottom of that triangle, we could see that break down like we said. Momentum does want to round. VWAP is starting to pull back. We did get a stronger bullish wave, but it wasn't very long lasting. It did kind of lose its strength very quickly. So if that VWAP cannot make a bounce here and make a higher low, momentum would break down, money flow would remain red, higher time frames would weaken, and we would see those bearish scenarios. However, if that VWAP can make a bounce here over the next few hours, momentum could remain bullish, money flow could head into the green. And remember, if that money flow holds green for several hours, higher time frames will strengthen, and then we could still see that push forward, but it's hard to say so without having any kind of bullish patterns. Over on algo for the daily, we are trying to break our resistance right around that 37-cent range, so that is positive. Remember, that could help push us right around that 50-cent range. And then our MPP does say there's a 40% chance of revisiting that high right around that 67 cents. Stochastic is starting to push down, RSI is pushing up, momentum is losing strength, VWAP is bearish, money flow is in the green, so I would watch that VWAP very close. If it continues to push bullish, then we could continue higher. However, if that VWAP makes a rejection, it's likely we would continue lower. So over on the 1 hour, our MPP is kind of indecisive here as well. It did say we could push up. We did break beyond where our MPP projected. Now is projecting from this top that we could continue lower. It's giving us 50-50 possibility. So watch for a continued consolidation. If we get continued consolidation here, we could make a small bull flag. That small bull flag would push us up and try to kick off things to push toward that 50 cents. Momentum does want to round. VWAP is starting to push down, so watch that VWAP close. As it favors bearish here, momentum will continue to weaken, money flow will remain red, and we could see some further losses, invalidating any bullish patterns that do arise. So watch that VWAP very close. It needs to hold bullish if bullish patterns are going to get that strength to continue forward. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and join us in the Discord down below.